Let me explain. I sit here and watch plenty of things on YouTube about relationships and watch shows about people giving out relationship information. I watch people ask questions, but questions wasn't answered. People toyed and played around with these people wanted them to answer. If you want love, it's not hard to find the love. It's only hard because of who you are. And you haven't even fixed yourself yet. Many of you want to play the field, but don't know where the field at. It's just like NFL or basketball. You could turn anybody on the floor a superstar because you brand them from the booth. So when you make them the brand, all you have to do is turn the TV towards that individual. This is how you made LeBron James and certain players active and kept the camera away from majority of the players that was active too. See, all you have to do is give them commercials and keep putting them in front of your face and keep showing them off day by day, and there will be a king according to the TV. It's the same way in a relationship. When you're trying to, if you really wanted to find love, okay, when you operate out of the truth, no matter how it looks, it can look good or bad, it's still the truth. What a woman or man will accept, they just going to accept, as long as you accept your truth. See, a lot of people are walking around with so much baby trauma that they never grew out of that. And they want to play games like they love themselves, and they really don't. They're inviting you to more confusion because they haven't even found themselves. So many people are stuck in the fog trying to find their way through the fog, but it's still cloudy in their lives. So many people want to use God as a tool when their faith is very limited. They operate through fear, therefore you know that there's no God in them. We know that the world is overpopulated with fools. Blacks are being looked down by many cultures, and blacks are spending so much money with the same cultures that look down on them. See, the thing, you let people play you out while you sit up here, target each other, and now somehow y'all looking for sympathy and want to point the finger and blame everybody else for shaming you. I'm from Washington, D.C. I'm from a place called Eastgate. And this how we was used in the 80s. They brung around this thing called City Under Siege. It all extended from Ronald Reagan, the war on drugs, when they was the ones putting the drugs out here. It was never a war on drugs. It was how to sacrifice people by putting drugs and guns on the street. Somehow a group of our people caught a whiff of this. And they played this game in California, Chicago, and all around these cities, even Washington, D.C., about bringing down the property value. So they put the guns into the hoods, caused us to beef with one another when we was already walking around angry from everything that's been done to us. It was much easier to influence us to murdering and brutalizing and lying and being deceptive to one another, because we were always put in these positions but never knew we was being put in these positions. See, a lot of times they knew that family problems, family trauma will bring forth these positions. Okay, The school teacher go to school. She graduates. She had to get psychology and biology in the class. See, the reason why, because this step by step is dealing with trauma from the embryo all the way up to where you reach a certain age. He or she's supposed to know how to deal with you, but they don't even know how to deal with you neither because they're going through the same things. It's the same way with a police officer. They don't know how to deal with you because of their abuse, so they're taking out abuse on you. They say they have training classes to show them what and what not to do, but you are the taxpayers, you are the ruler of them, but they somehow come to the streets and try to rule you. Now you're seeing things that's been done because you are being looked upon as the knucklehead, as the crook, because you had to face all these things and been thrown in a gun because somebody stole your identity and made it their own. So now we are sacrificing each other in the streets for a little bit of change. Now you have insurance companies with people banking on the deaths of other people. Where people, you don't even have to sign insurance no more. Where people is putting your name into insurance and putting $500,000 and millions of dollars to cover you, and then setting out people to kill you, to murder you, so they can cash out. See, I said this in school, that these days will come, because the way the most educated child was in the school building was looked down upon because he disagreed with the teachers, because he found out the teachers wasn't that educated. When he challenged them, he found out that the mathematics is kindergarten and the math can be broken even more. So when you challenge these people, they don't like you. So you start missing days out of school where we playing hooky. But you can play hooky and stay out of school for 2 weeks and come back and elevate, because you already know the things that they already taught these students. Sometimes you had students couldn't catch on because maybe reading was their favorite. But anybody that their favorite was mathematics knows that the world is very confused because they look at everything by numbers anyway. But the numbers that we was given was false numbers. He was given these numbers because these numbers will be controlling us in so many ways through Social Security Act. When you go in there and you sign your signature, different things, and they state words. By them stating words, they say, raise your right hand. And then they ask you to say your name. That means you gave up your rights to them to do whatever that need to be. We didn't understand that at first. We didn't understand that. It was like Jacob's and Esau problem. They used the same methods on us, the same biblical information on us to prosecute us and to convict us of the crimes that some of us did not do. See, I'm going to speak about Bill Cosby. And a lot of y'all throw these stones at Bill Cosby with what's not there. Y'all took this information from the TV and called that man a rapist, where y'all have no clue and no understanding of. Bill Cosby is supposed to enter the billionaire meeting that they had. He did not go. And then he tried to invest in certain things. We understood that. But he tried to do even more. Bill Cosby was threatened one time before. Remember, his son had broke down on the side of the highway. And his son was murdered on the side of the highway. Who you think that done it? I'll leave you to guess, but I have the answer. The problem is with this picture here, that people showed up 15, 20, and 30 years later to prosecute a man for rape. And y'all went along with that. Who gonna sit with all these issues for 15 and 30, 20 and 35 years and then all of a sudden step out to prosecute a man. The reason why they came forth, and you can look at every last one of them, and you can tell that majority of them was recovering from drugs, and some of them still looked like they was on drugs. The only how these people stepped out, they were being paid from some other anonymous people, you understand, to come to court against this man because he was not cooperating. We know in this country, when you stop cooperating, when you used to be a CIA or FBI or whatever branch that you deal with, you did not agree. We've seen this many times, the assassinations of many people across the world. When they stop going along with your program, then you send something we call the mercenary over to the country to assassinate that individual. They never send 3,000 men. They send one mercenary to come and assassinate that individual, and nobody sees it coming. So you can walk around with all the armed soldiers all you want to, but the most powerful thing everybody know, the weapon in this world is the rifle, because it can shoot 300 yards and some even further. That's why when they had the sniper, they knew exactly who he was, because once they monitored the scene, they did satellite technology. They threw you off by saying he was in a van, so everybody was looking for a white van, but they knew the car that was driven because certain individuals said something about the car. But they allowed these people to assassinate people and get away with it while they was monitoring them at the same time. See, when he went to the phone and he made the phone call, that's when they seen the individual, the face recognition of the person. Now you see cameras on your street, every corner. Now they're showing you we are now no longer hiding that we are surveillance you. We've been doing it all this long time. That's why a lot of black people ideas has been brought to the forefront, and now we are running to the stores buying our own ideas that showed up because it was stolen from you. Because black people has always loved to conversate, communicate, and tell things that they really wasn't going to do. It was just in the back of their mind. They just wanted to talk themselves into it, but was afraid to make these moves. Now you see the new black person down in his own kind trying to play these games, and then you see the blender, the one that came in the later years, in these times, act like they was upon you, robbed you for everything that you have now today, and now they don't even like you but acting like they like you. You seen shows with these foreign entities, and these people want to say that they don't like black people. See, I tell you, I took you back to Eastgate because Eastgate was the place that they sent all the way around the world. They showed us, you understand, acted ignorant and didn't understand where the ignorance came from. See, they spreaded all this about black people all around the world because I have many friends outside of this country. And I've been given more game that you can imagine. And by the grace of God, I will never receive these things if it wasn't God said. So that's why I don't play these games. I don't wander around. You can't tell me nothing, and nobody rules over me. Look, I stood on that corner just like you because I seen the times changing. I seen that the violence was going to happen, and there'll be more funerals and more mothers crying day by day. I told these people, they're going to break the family up. They're going to give the women the strength. They're going to give them jobs, and the woman going to tear down the whole house themselves. This is where the fire started to burn. Because when you read the first beginning of the book, who does Lucifer come after? He came after the woman to get to the man. It's been this congregation thing because the woman is the maker of the family. But the man is always wanted to be king inside of his house, but now he's reacting like a queen. They don't see that these people has pulled all these strings and led you down many directions where they wanted you to go, backed you up against the wall, gave you 6 figures. Now you think you the man. Now you think you got hard. Now you think you a soldier, but you never was. Now you have so many people running their mouths, never been on the front of anything, but want to be on the front page of some bullshit that these people delivering. See, we the same people that made money work. They thought it didn't. They thought it wasn't gonna work. But when they put it in our vision, we made everything work for them. Now you the clown because you still trying to make everything work for them by downplaying the black woman. How foolish can you be when she took on all the things in the world, her ancestors, which is grandma, great-grandma, great-great-grandma, and so on and so forth. They took more abuse, you understand, that the black man should have lifted up the palm of his hand, slapped her down after she had to sleep with the so-called leader at that time that took over her husband, making him feel less than a man. That he wasn't willing to sit and die, that he was going to operate and talk, go in the house and talk all this trash and do nothing about it. So she took upon herself to take a stand for her man. But now, today, we are taking a baseball bat and slapping it across her face. How dare that we get to this point that we are now confused and fucked up in the mind, and now we're trying to sit up here and say things that we have no clues about. See, I don't believe in slavery, and I don't believe in your cookbooks that you wrote, because I know at the time that we would wake up, you will be giving us these books to put us right back to sleep. The proper books that's hidden away from us, the scrolls that my people wrote, you have in your vault. You have them hidden, and you will not give us the truth. You gave us these false truths and some of these false names and all these accusations about history that did not even happen, and a lot of these people did not exist. See, one thing about it, everybody in the world will be able to calculate and communicate with different people and tell them who was these people, but some of these people, my people don't even know. And my people was back in the 18th, the 17th, the 16th, the 15th, and we can go all the way down. Then y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not here to shame anybody. I'm just here to wake you up out of this nightmare and this dream. That y'all can, these preachers, get in here and quote 1 John, 2 John, 2 Timothy, and all this old other stuff just to sound good. They are sound biters and inviting y'all to a fire where y'all will walk in and burn. See, remember, when Christ walked this earth, where did he go? He went to the church and he spoke out of the book of Isaiah. He was speaking about these people, you understand, that was running these situations and was telling them they was doing everything wrong. And they said, why? How can you do these things on the Sabbath? You are a sinner because you've done these things on the Sabbath. But Christ said, Christ was the Sabbath. They didn't understand what it meant. Christ gave love all around the world while all these people was bringing forth wickedness. See, at the same time when the church started to follow him, you understand, because the church is one man, and then once we congregate, we become the full church. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what Christ was sent to the earth for. But then when the people started following Christ, this is when these same people that was in these buildings wanted to go against and get him murdered. All they was thinking about is the sheep being taken away from them and given to him, so therefore they was going to sacrifice him. This is what the book was written for. It didn't take a rocket scientist to understand what the Father was trying to tell us. But y'all are more confused than I have ever seen in my entire life. That's why in the first beginning of Revelations, you have the 7 churches. All the way down to the end, it says the lukewarm. How many of you people think y'all are hot or cold? I think the whole nations is lukewarm. Because you know why? Y'all dancing around and making these projects yours, and then trying to change certain things to suit you. You're making more confusion, and God is not the author of confusion. You became. Because you know why? Satan has become your father, and you became the author of Satan. This is why the Father said 85% of the world will be following Lucifer at the end time. And I never thought it would happen, but I see it all. And I seen everybody that was here to help you. I seen you throwing knives from the side, talking bad about these people, and showing them false love, and wasn't real about anything. But they're the ones gonna pull you out of the dungeon, but you're trying to throw them in. I met many homeless people. See, I didn't never talk about the things that I've done. Look at me. I'm not rich, but I helped millions of people. I didn't have to be rich. By the law, I walk, and I put in my work to do so. And I didn't think about color. I didn't think about the shameful words of war, the shameful words of slavery, the shameful words that bring forth misery. No. These same people sitting up here marching in your streets, still talking this West Side Story shit, thinking they are gangsters and running a country that are not even theirs. How can you invade a country and then tell the people that this country always been to get out? Let me tell you something. Do the history and the background checks of all you Europeans that's in it here in this country. Find out what nation y'all come from, and then then come back and tell me that the people have to get out. You to be the one leaving, because you're not indigenous to this country. Then so many of you people that call yourself Indians that arrived in this country at a later time, you understand, in white and blue dresses, which is some of you nuns wear today, because they still wear the same outfits in certain places, and they derived from Europe too, came into this country, you understand, and then called themselves Indians. I'm going to tell you this. It's only 13 tribes in this world. That's why you have the 13 colonists. That's why you always, the number 13 shows up all the time, because there's only 13 tribes in this world. And one was evil and one was devilish. You understand? See, the Father always gave us the proper image. He used these things in the book. The book of Numbers, the whole book is Numbers. Even the Quran is written in Numbers. But these people want to think Muhammad and all this old other stuff that he did all this, and when they read the Hadith, now they're ready to throw away the Hadith because they're finding out that the Hadiths are all lies. And some of these people didn't even exist neither. They were made up. See, it's so much confusion going around that you are human beings, and y'all want to run to Mecca and then circle around a block, a fucking rock, you understand, that they said they fell from the heavens, and then they got it sealed in one thing, sealed and now they got a box around it, and y'all circle making the 6 all day long, you understand, and y'all say to be a Muslim you got to go to Mecca at least once time. You see how much foolishness is going on in the planet, and a lot of you people that puts on these outfits in the Middle East, children rapers, and y'all executing people because y'all can do it. Then y'all stole all the wealth from, you are the children of Esau. Y'all stole all the wealth from Jacob because you were mad at your brothers. See, these people trying to say the white man is the children of Esau. They are lying. The children of Esau never left the desert. The children of Jacob left the desert. That's how foolish these niggas stay on the corner, preaching all this mess. The white man is Esau, and they have no facts, but they're going past the biblical information. You look no different than your brothers. Remember, some of the Esau children are still darker in the back of Pakistan, in the back of all these places. How you think that India became India? How you think that the Indian people look the way they look right now today? From mixing. They were a made race from mixing. Are the offsprings of Esau too. See, all these people can play all the games in the world. You have lighter and you have darker in India. The Chinese, who you think they came from? They are the offspring of the Japanese. Who the Japanese come from? They are offsprings of us. Japanese are darker people. I told you through the mixture of sexual intercourse, they became lighter Japanese people, but they are still darker Japanese people, still in Japan. You've been toyed with for a long time and going to war against your own people. Then the 12 tribe chart, you can tear all that up. Because all you're doing is running your mouth and talking. The offspring of the Japanese are all the lines, Vietnamese and all the way down through there, come from the Japanese. Then if you go into Africa, you're going to find a tribe with blonde hair and slanted eyes. They're still in Africa. Some of them are the children of Ham. But y'all put them on the 12 charts because y'all have no clue who are the children of Ham. You think Ham, all Ham kids stay darker. Remember, the only ones was cursed be Canaan. Not all Ham's kids. Canaan was cursed twice. And then Shem was cursed for building the Tower of Babel. That he scattered all the languages where they couldn't understand each other anymore, which brought forth confusion. Y'all want to talk and just steal people's hearts and souls and steal all their wealth away from them when there's no wealth in paper. Now people is being used as cattle. This is how Abraham and all the families out of Abraham was noticed with the richest. They had cattle. The Africans ran with gold and cattle as time went along. The Egypt thing, when Abraham's son went back and became king of Egypt, because this is the missing books. The first 12 princes in Egypt came through Abraham's son. See, what I want to say to you all, that when you go inside of the book They had things like this, was this much in their museums. The rest of it's gone. Then they had a piece this big. The rest of it gone. How do you take and write from this much all this information, and from this much all this information? They pull from different things and try to plant it in a book this big. It's not about being right or wrong, but everything is to be challenged. This is what Christ told you. But you took everything for face value. One thing I want to say to you all is, if the devil wanted to become God, how could he do it? To get the nations to pray to him and to bow to him. I'll wait for all your answers, but the people that's playing the game knows the answer. That's why they don't take it serious. That's why they sitting here robbing you. I've been watching for quite a while. So, more fortunate, I sat back and I watched her for 3 years. They say the ancestors speaking to them. Well, I say to the ancestors, tell them the truth. Not about all this other stuff. Give them the information, the true history, and the true names that was in history. And prosecute those who convict us. This is my challenge. And this is what I say. This will save humanity. Not 1 minute we are doing good, and then the next minute we're doing bad. We operate in the same way, but things keep changing. See, I stand with the Father and the Father only. I bow down to nothing, no man or no principality or no anything that's in this world. I never voted for anybody in my life because I didn't see any person that can be brought forth in front of me that's better than me and ever letting them confuse me. If it's not the Father and the Father himself, why would I allow another man in the place of me? I will be the fool, and I'm not going to play the fool. So there's nobody you can vote on and bring forth that's over top of me. I understand the rules of engagement in this world and how you set up people and then act like you dislike people when y'all all playing the same game. There have been many set up on this planet because of the things that they do and the things that they say, and when they're trying to wake people up the right way. That's why I don't write no books, because I'm not here trying to confuse you. Remember, I told you about, I come out of a little place called Eastgate, and they used us. They sent pictures of us around the world to confuse the world and to make the world scared of us, to make the black man look bad. Because at this time, it was so much war right there in that little city. We call it a city because it is our town. And anybody challenges us, we will step outside and come and see about that. And then this beef with Simple City and Eastgate, I played no pause in none of it. I had friends in both sets. So it was never a real beef. It came upon with the young people. And I still did what I did with the young people on both sides. Let me tell you something. I don't believe in us beefing with one another. For what? When the people breaking your heart out here, tearing you apart, and then tell you got to go in here and sign an application to get a job, the same people that rape and beat your people in the head and murder you with lies, and it's not a color. It's both of them. Some look like me and some look like them. The Chaldeans are a mix of race of people. It is not one race of people, you people that stand on the corner. Read very carefully. When Moses came and brought us out of Egypt, what happened? We start bickering with each other about why God brought us here and this, day, never. And when we look down, he said we are entering the land of Canaan. If we're entering the land of Canaan, that there are people already there. There's Cain people, the cursed people. They said, Moses, you will not even see the land. But Israel will. Who you think? What he was saying? Who became Israel? Jacob, right? Why y'all letting them fool all of you? If Jacob is Israel, then where's Israel? Because what we entered was the land of Canaan that God gave to us. And we were told not to sleep with a lot of individuals, but we did it anyway. Remember when Jacob went to Laman, which is his uncle. See, this went over all y'all head. He was his uncle. Wanted to date his daughter. Is they not family? He dated the one daughter for 7 years. He wanted the other daughter. So the uncle tricked him to date the other daughter for 14 years. That's 777. You see these numbers all the time. But y'all don't want to react to these things. Because y'all made it religion when nothing in the world shows religion. It shows spiritual, but no religion. We've been lied to for a long time. And that's why people are in this world still trying to pull things from the third heaven. There's a world over top of your head that you cannot see. And people are summoning things in it. That's why you got the thing called Jacob's Ladder, where they say angels was going up and down. A lot of y'all don't really identify with these things or really understand these things. Y'all doing rituals and stuff to hurt people and to play these games. We need to stop. There's only one God. There's no other. Whomever the Father sends, that's who he sends. We need to stop forcing people to believe in all these false things. And it never said that Christ had no red eyes. You have never seen a red-eyed human being in your entire life. He said eyes like fire. Fire is not red, brother. He had brown eyes. Feet like brass, like burnt in the... That is not black. That is red. Y'all are fools. And y'all are colorblind at the same time. Y'all don't want to see that is a reddish brown person. Esau was reddish brown, and so was Jacob. It just Esau had more hair on his body than Jacob. Same father, same mother, birth, born twins. Just different. Color, same, different. Look. One was hairy and one was not. Esau got mad at his brother Jacob. Started beefing with his brother Jacob. This is how the children of Israel got spread all around the world because of Esau. He made a treaty with his invaders, the British, because the British was the ones assassinated, went around every country murdering and robbing everybody out of natural resources. You don't have to believe me. Do your research in your humble world. Because they don't have a history. They have a story about just murder. They haven't helped anybody on this platform. Not on this face of the earth. This group came, and I understand why they was angry, and murdered everything. I'm going to leave y'all to this research. And I'm going to tell y'all, I didn't have to read none of these books to understand this. I'm going to ask y'all, who gave me this information? I hope to get an answer.